Remember when we said we'd stay together now until forever? Just us, just us.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jessica Hickson, and I spent 5 years working my way up to the top of an MLM before realizing they're just not all that they're cracked up to be. My goal with this channel is to rescue some Huns, to prevent some Huns from becoming Huns, and to also give those a voice who have left the Hunbot industry like myself.
It's what you do. Making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can...
Today's small business shout out comes from a subscriber named Cheryl. Cheryl is not actually the small business owner, but she recently came across a small business that she'd like to nominate called Lindy Art. Lindy Art makes healing boxes and other boxes for a variety of different situations. So it looks like Lindy is actually a life coach who offers different types of self-care and self-therapy boxes. Like this one includes a 12-page workbook with lesson reminder cards to pin around your house, as well as hand-selected gifts that correlate with the lesson and practices in the workbook. And what I love about this is that she supports small businesses, independent artists, and fair trade products. So her products are not from like big name companies, definitely not MLMs, like small name businesses, which you guys know I love to highlight. So I absolutely love that Lindy's doing this. You guys know I've had my own mental health struggles, and I think something like this is just an amazing resource for people. So if you'd like to support a small business, definitely check out Lindy Art. I will leave all of her links in the description below. As you guys know, I also have my YouTube memberships up and running now. I'm still not entirely sure how to work them, and we're looking for a new name instead of like members, because I just think that's lame and it sounds like you're joining an MLM. But we do have them up and running now. So today's YouTube membership shout out goes to Hunter. Hunter is a presidential executive, and yes, we had to name our membership level tiers after Hun ranks because you have to stay on brand, you know. So thank you, Hunter, for all of your support. If you guys are looking for how to join, I'm not really sure how to join. There should be a join button somewhere down here, or I'll leave the link in the description as well. So back to the video. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about Phorm today. I truly didn't even know what Phorm was until I like started seeing stuff about 75 hard. And if you guys don't know what that is, I'll go into it in a minute. But I started seeing stuff about 75 hard. I decided to do 75 hard. I realized that there was a book that went along with it. I started reading the book, and that's where I learned about Phorm. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me if Phorm is an MLM, and honestly, it didn't even cross my mind until you guys started asking me that. And my first thought was like, no, like why would they be an MLM? I see so many like reputable CrossFit people promoting it. I see like larger athletes promoting it. I'm like, why would that be an MLM? I don't feel like they would be part of an MLM. Well, once I got started digging deeper, we'll get into it. But basically, 75 Hard is a program where you have to follow a certain set of rules, and it's basically like a mental toughness challenge, which after I was in MLMs, I have like a different perspective on like self-help and stuff, and it kind of like ruined self-help for me. But one thing that I do thrive off of is having like a challenge. So it really just keeps me on track mentally to have something like a checklist every day that I have to complete this every single day, and that I have to do it for a certain amount of time. Because if I don't do that for myself, I never stay on track. So if I were to say like, yeah, I'm gonna start a diet today, but I don't lay out like what exactly the diet's gonna consist of or how long it's gonna last or whatever, then I never stick to it. So 75 Hard, essentially what it is you have to take a picture of yourself every single day. This is to like track physical progress and stuff like that. He mentions in his book, it's also to like pay attention to small details, and like putting those small details in there, like taking a picture of yourself every day seems like such a small task, but it's easily forgotten, and when you forget the small things, it can be detrimental. Anyways, you also have to do 2 workouts every single day. Each workout has to be 45 minutes, and one of them has to be outdoors. So when I did 75 Hard, it was in the dead of winter. So half of my workouts were outside. It was like sleeting in my face, like legitimately hurt when the sleet was hitting my face. It was snowing. It was negative degrees outside. Like I busted my butt for 75 Hard. Mind you, I got COVID on day 62. So I never got to finish 75 Hard, which was a huge slap in the face because I truly worked my butt off to get to day 62. Like there were days I did not want to do it. My friends came to visit me. They surprised me. They bought pizza and cookie brownie. Cookie brownie from Domino's is like my jam. Like I love the cookie brownie from Domino's because they like don't quite cook it all the way. So it's like still really soft and delicious. They bought that and I had none of it because I was doing 75 hard. I literally did workouts outside where it was painful. There were icicles hanging from my nose. I worked hard for those 62 days. And then on day 62, I had to give up, or on day 63, I guess, I had to give up because I got COVID and I could hardly move. So there's that. Anyways, so take a picture of yourself every day, 2 workouts a day, no alcohol. You have to follow a diet. Any diet you want, but you have to stick to that diet for 75 days. Oh, you have to drink a gallon of water every single day. And then you have to read 10 pages of a professional or personal development book, which I understand that can be a lot for some people. It can be too much for some people. It's not for everybody. I'm not here to promote 75 hard. I don't really give a shit, but I'm just letting you guys know, like, that's how I figured out who this guy was who owns Phorm. So once I was like balls deep in 75 hard, I decided to get the book. Once I got the book, I started reading the book, and it was clear to me that he had another business. Like he talked about his supplement company a lot, and when he was talking about like the diet he followed and stuff, he always referenced his supplement company, which like I can't really fault him for that, because it was like I probably would do the same thing. Like if I had a company where I was like selling a product, I would look for every avenue possible to promote that product. So I couldn't really fault him for that. But one thing I would fault him for in that book is part of his focus for 75 hard is to like pay attention to small details. Like I was mentioning about taking a picture of yourself every day. It sounds like such a small task. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you mess up on 75 hard, you go back to day 1. If you forget to take a picture, you're back to day 1. So his main focus with that was like paying attention to small details. But in his book, there were just so many grammatical errors and parts of the book where I'm like, you're not like paying attention to small details, you know? Or like the fact that whatever publishing company he went with, they weren't like picking out those small details, or he didn't pick a publishing company and publish it himself, and he didn't pick out those like minor mistakes, which they're like minor mistakes, whatever, like an M was typed instead of an N or whatever. But the fact that he's like so focused on the small minor details, but he wasn't focused on the small minor details. So that was the first like kind of like maybe this guy isn't all that he's like cracked up to be, you know? But while I was doing that challenge, I actually checked out one of these supplement superstores, which he owns Supplement Superstore, and he sells Phorm supplements in Supplement Superstore. They call Supplement Superstore, I don't know if it's S2, S squared. It's typed like S and then a 2, so I don't know, but I call it S2. It's probably S squared, but Supplement Superstore, I checked out one of those, and I did notice that like the people inside Supplement Superstore were like kind of like pushing towards Phorm products, but also like pushing towards just sales in general. And I was like, yeah, they probably just like make a commission, which is like cool, whatever. So first of all, just a little bit about Andy Frisella. Andy Frisella, apparently also known as MF CEO, which I can only assume means mother CEO. I'm not sure why, but I mean, whatever floats your boat, right? He grew up actually where I live now. I live on the Illinois side, but he lives on the Missouri side of St. Louis. So he actually lives in the town that I got my testing done the other day. So he grew up there, and he mentions often how he was always called fat, lazy, and stupid growing up as a kid, which like that's terrible. And I can see why that would like fuck somebody up. From what I understand, Andy's dad was a very controlling dad and a very like hardcore dad who was all about winning. So he eventually got Andy into some sports and would just like shoved winning down his throat and like made him work super hard for everything that he had, which there isn't anything like totally wrong with that, except for the fact that he was called like lazy, fat, and stupid. And I don't know if that was by his dad or not, but regardless, super hardcore dad, was always about winning, got Andy into some sports. He was super athletic after that and kind of just liked what was happening with his body when he was being active and in sports. So he and his friend Chris, they came across this guy who was making really good money selling supplements, and they decided that's the route that they wanted to go. So they worked a bunch of odd end jobs during the summer and ended up raising $12,000 to start their own business. They started their own business, but the first place that they like leased out, they realized that they had to pay 1 year's rent up front because they were young and they didn't have good credit. So the entire $12,000 went into this storefront in order to start their supplement company. He even mentions that he bought a piss-stained mattress to put in the back of the store that they could sleep on, because everything that they had was invested into this company, which sounds oddly familiar to me. Within the MLM, it was like, you give everything that you have into this business, even if it leaves you with nothing, you'll eventually have something because it's going to pay off. But right now, you live with virtually nothing. So shortly after starting that company, it wasn't like very successful. They had like sales here and there and people that just kind of like felt bad for them because they could tell that they weren't successful, but that was pretty much it, until he describes an incident where he came in contact with a lady at a grocery store, and she was a burn victim, and they had like had a conversation about how she uses her scars to kind of like define her in a way. Like they make her who she is and they make her unique so people remember who she is. And he decided like, oh, I should be doing that too, because just before that, he got in a fight with a guy who pulled a knife on him because someone had said a racial slur to his friend. And so he went to defend his friend. The guy pulled a knife on him and stabbed him in the face. As you can see, very unfortunate place to get stabbed. I mean, any place would be unfortunate, but right across the face kind of sucks. And before that, he had kind of used it to like diminish his self-worth and tell himself that like nobody would want to be a part of whatever he's a part of because of the way he looks, or they're like scared to talk to him because of the way he looks or whatever. So he kind of used that encounter with a lady in the grocery store to flip his story around and make people see him in a different light and make people remember him by his scars. Like, oh, that's the guy, you know, that has the scars on his face. Like they knew who he was because he had that distinct characteristic that nobody else had, which essentially like in sales in general, that's like the main thing you want to do is stand out from other people who are like competitors. And so by using his scar to kind of like stand out and set himself apart, that was pretty smart on his part. At that point, he decided to start making motivational content. He said mostly like for himself, because he was like wanting to get his mind right and make sure that his mind was in the right place. And he started, I think at that point is when he started a podcast. So he started his podcast, and he said the one thing that people took away from it was that he used colorful language, which I understand a lot of people have an issue with this, but in my opinion, it is such a clever tactic, right? So when I lived in South Dakota, the governor of South Dakota had this campaign going on where she wanted to bring awareness to the meth problem in South Dakota, and in an effort to get funding for it. So she made this slogan that said, "Meth, we're on it." And at first glance, it's like, whoa, that's like a little much, but it got the job done. Like so many people were like reposting her saying, "Meth, we're on it." And like we're reposting this slogan, kind of like making fun of her, like, oh, she deserves to be fired for, you know, like you had one job. And it was like, you know, whatever. People were making fun of her, but it got exactly what it needs to get done. It got her purpose or her slogan, her campaign into the eyes of so many more people just by using that type of language or that type of like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, that maybe it seems like it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense because that's what's bringing the attention to the campaign to get more funding for it, which was the end goal anyway. So by using colorful language in his podcast and stuff, people are going to remember that. Like when you say the word fuck, there's something that goes off in the person who's listening's brain that just like flips on. And the next thing you say after that word, they're gonna listen to. So in my opinion, it's a clever tactic and it's a productive tactic. And obviously it was, because look where he's at now. But basically his whole goal with this like motivational self-help stuff was to focus on mental toughness, which part of his message I agree with. I will not make this political, so please do not come in the comments talking about politics, because I know exactly where he stands and I don't align with him on many levels. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Don't come in the comments like spewing a bunch of stuff, because it's not about that. And please don't make it about that. Thank you. There's a lot of his message that I don't agree with, but I felt like 75 Hard really just like kept me on track. I truly felt my best when I was on 75 Hard, which is I think why my health condition now like hits so hard, because right before I got COVID, I was doing 75 Hard and I felt amazing and wonderful. I was working out twice a day. I was eating healthy. Like I felt like my best self. I got COVID and now my life has like never been the same. So I think it hit so hard because I was at such a peak in my like health and my life right before whatever hit. And I will tell you that like some Andy followers I think could be considered cult followers. If I can find any posts that I'm referring to, I'll post them here for you. But I remember when I was doing 75 hard and people would post in that group and they would be like, I was 42 minutes into my run and I really had to pee. I had to go back in the house and pee. Do I need to like completely start my 45-minute workout over? Or can I just like go out and finish the last 3 minutes of my workout? And almost every comment would be like, nope, you gotta start over, And I'm just like, for 3 minutes? Like, sure, go back out and do 3 more minutes of work, but like starting over because you had to pee, what? There were people like in Canada who it was like negative 40 degrees out and they're out there like head is full of icicles dripping from their eyelashes, their nose, like disgusting. Some of these people, they like worship him a little bit too much and I think could be considered cult followers because of that. But regardless, so their supplement superstore was based out of Springfield in August of 2006. They got an offer to buy out a chain of supplement stores in St. Louis. So that's when they moved everything to St. Louis area. So they bought out 4 more chains. So then they had a total or 4 more stores. So they had a total of 5 supplement superstores in 2006. So they went from having 1 to having 5 overnight. So after looking into Supplement Superstore, I realized that they require their employees to be NASM Certified Personal Trainer. So I had to look it up, but it means National Academy of Sports Medicine. So they had to be certified personal trainers in order to work there, which if they are an MLM, they're already doing more than most MLMs do. Like most MLMs are like, yep, you got a heartbeat? All right, go ahead, you're a coach, you know? Like they don't give a shit what you know, like what qualifications you have or anything like that. So that I think is awesome. So like I said, Phorm is owned by Andy and so is Supplement Superstore. Phorm supplements and also other supplements are sold in Supplement Superstore. After looking into Phorm, I did see they have a 110% money back guarantee, which I think is pretty awesome. Like you can return any unused product if you're not satisfied with it and get like a full money back guarantee, which is pretty cool. But now let's get to the fun stuff. Like I said, I never even considered the fact that they could be an MLM because I don't know, it just didn't cross my mind. Like they're sold in stores and whatever. Like I see reputable people promoting them. And so I was like, there's no way, but like a bunch of people are asking me this, so let me check into it. So I came across what's called the Legionnaire program. So it sounds like the Legionnaire program is basically their affiliate program. I started going through like the contract and stuff like that to kind of break down where it may be viewed as an MLM. So here it says, transform your social media into a valuable resource that will generate more income for you. I personally think that's to say transform, like TRANSPHORM to stay on brand, but that's not what we're here for. Simply by teaching you the most effective ways to help people get results. Okay, so I clicked on apply now. And I just want to go through some of the terms and conditions that kind of stand out to me. So I see one here that says, do not spam. Do not send junk or unqualified traffic to this offer. Do not Twitter spam or social media spam. So that alone kind of like sets itself apart from the MLM world in my opinion, but I guess there are some MLMs that don't like spam social media, but a lot of MLMs do. So that was interesting to me. It says don't misrepresent yourself as a typical result or as a typical customer. Basically, I think that's like an FTC guideline. Like you're not allowed to claim that this is typical. You have to like make sure to mention that not all results will be the same. Be transparent and authentic. Will treat your customers with massive respect. Okay, and it says note, there will be no commission payments on the first $100 sold through your Legionnaire site each month. If the only purpose in joining this Legionnaire program is to get commission on a sale for personal use of Phorm, that's not cool. We do track and reconcile every sale, and in cases where a Legionnaire, I don't know why it says and Legionnaire, has a single sale to themselves, commission will not be paid on that sale except for any amount over $100. I'm not fair for Legionnaires who have promoted in good faith only to have one of their prospects join the Legionnaire program. Okay, so basically it's just saying that they basically don't want, like, you as an affiliate rep or whatever, they don't want you like gaining customers and then those customers signing up for the Legionnaire program just to get a discount, and then you're losing that commission on them because they joined the program, but they only joined the program to get the discount, basically. So they're trying to like save you from like not getting your commissions from those people. Honestly, I read through the entire terms and conditions and I don't see anything that like sets it apart and like makes it an MLM. I don't know, maybe there's like a different type of program that they have as well, but I did want to define really quick what an MLM is because I have a lot more stuff to get into. So I wanted to find what an MLM is so that maybe we can see a connection there if there is one. But according to Merriam-Webster, what defines an MLM is basically, to put it simply, a sales rep earns commissions from their sales and their recruit sales. Okay, so one of you guys asked me this on one of my like Q&As if Phorm was an MLM. And I had responded and said, I don't think so because I don't see any like pyramid structure to it. I don't see any like incentive to recruit. I'm pretty sure they just have like different affiliate like brand reps and they get commission from that. So when I posted that on my Instagram story, I had one of you guys reach out to me and say, Phorm affiliate here. I've had an MLM rep tell me that Phorm is an MLM in hopes that I would join her team for savvy crazy. I don't know what that means, but anywho, there's no recruiting aspect for affiliates. We make commission off of our affiliate link. The company is actually pretty amazing in how it trains their affiliates and they treat their employees really well. There are a lot of diehard Phorm fans, but I think you'll find that with any big brand. But I definitely am not afraid of leaving, nor would I be shunned if I did, like it was with Monat. And I think because you guys had asked if it's a cult, so that's why she was saying like she wouldn't be afraid to leave or whatever. So I said, okay, this is great to know. I'm preparing a video about it right now and was curious about the recruiting part. There's no recruiting incentive at all. Do you get anything if you're like, hey, I'm a brand rep, you should be one too? She said, for Phorm, nope. I said, okay, cool, that's what I thought. And then she sent me a couple voice messages and I'm gonna let you guys listen to those and I'm gonna kind of pick those apart so you guys can better understand that too.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them. Essentially, there are incentives for furthering your education, like they have different levels of affiliates, and basically I think it goes up to 5 stars. And so in terms of like, there are different rankings, but how you go up in ranks is not by sales, it's by your education and your accomplishments outside of sales, if that makes sense. So they have a training hub that's that all of their affiliates have access to, and it's full of educational content that they have created at HQ by dietitians, nutritionists, specialists, trainers. And the more education that you complete in the training center, the more you can quote unquote rank up. But there's no, as far as I know, there's no monetary increase as you rank up. It's more of just, so there are ranks, but it's more of it's more of like goal setting and hitting that rank based off of your education and the training that you do with the people at headquarters that make a salary. But there's no recruitment. We just make commission off of sales using our link, and that's it. So hope that helps.
So I think this could be a large reason why people are confused and might think it's an MLM, because there are different like ranks and tiers that you can reach. But like she said, it's not based off of like recruiting, and it's not based off of anything other than like expanding your knowledge or expanding your education. So what I thought about in comparison here is like when you start coaching CrossFit, you have different levels in which you can be a coach. So I have my level 1 certification. So it's like the lowest certification that you can be a CrossFit coach. There's a level 2, level 3. So as you move up in the levels of coaching, like you're not paid anything, like it's nothing other than like a different certification. But some people who are higher ranking or have a higher level of education may be more qualified to coach a certain type of person. So a level 3 CrossFit coach would be more qualified to coach an elite athlete than I would be as a level 1 CrossFit coach, you know? So I think maybe people are getting mixed up there because MLMs have given like ranks or tiers or levels a bad rep because of who they are. But just like with corporate America, like they always try to make this argument that corporate America is a pyramid scheme. It's not the existence of levels that makes it a pyramid scheme or that makes it an MLM. It's the incentive to recruit and making money off of your recruits' sales, right? So I think there could be a little bit of confusion there, but one of you guys did send me a podcast to listen to from someone who was an affiliate, and they think it is a pyramid scheme. So I'm interested to hear because I heard from an active affiliate. Now I'm interested to hear from someone who was an affiliate and thinks it was an MLM. So let's go ahead and listen to that together. So like I said, it sounds like this person was an affiliate and feels like it's an MLM. From what I know so far, I'm leaning towards no, it's not an MLM, but there could be stuff going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing as outsiders. So I don't want to make that claim until I know for sure, and I want to hear what she has to say first. They talked about 2 companies in this podcast. The first one they talked about was Herbalife, which I totally want to do a separate video on because I see those in a totally different light now. But on today's menu is Phorm, so we're gonna listen to that part.
So that's like the first one we're gonna touch on. The second one, that's pretty much all we said about Herbalife, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. This second one this is the tea. This is the juicy tea because I bet a lot of you don't know that this is an MLM because I didn't and I was shocked. But just to preface, a lot of the people you see posting it that might be bigger influencers, they're probably not recruiting on and preying on people like other people are. Just disclaimer.
They're just probably making good money and they just don't want to leave.
Sales, but there's definitely there's a part of the company that is Phorm.
Phorm, done.
So this part is kind of what makes me question that like it could be a possibility because the girl that we listened to, the voice messages we listened to the first time, she said like unless there's something going on at the top that I'm not aware of, then I don't think it is. But let's keep listening.
Dun, dun.
The tea comes out.
And yes, you guys are probably thinking, well, Sam, didn't you work there? Yes, I did work there. But again, same situation. I was brainwashed. They literally, what they do is they'll have like, what do you call these people that are reaching out to us?
They're literally just like
recruiter. So obviously with the pyramid scheme, so there's people higher ranked than me. So someone who was a little bit higher ranked, slid into my DMs, asked me if I wanted to be a part of Phorm. And obviously, this was when I first started my fitness page. I had probably I didn't even have a swipe up link yet. I had probably 7,000 followers. And they asked me and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Phorm, this is a big ass company. I was so excited. I was telling my parents and all that. And, whatever. Everything went through. I went on the call with them and it worked out. So I started working with them. And I instantly was like, what the heck is going on? Because they started making me do these quizzes and all these different type of research things on their page. It was this Phorm back office thing where you had to do these quizzes about each supplement to get to know each supplement so that
I see that as a good thing. Like I was mentioning before, I feel like MLMs will take anything with a heartbeat and be like, sell this product, even though you know nothing about it. I mean, I even said in one of my first videos I made when I was with It Works, I didn't know if these products worked and I didn't care if these products worked. Them making them take quizzes about the products and become knowledgeable about the products, I see that as a good thing.
When I was promoting it, I was better at promoting it, which at the time I'm just okay, maybe every company does this. Maybe it's just not just Phorm. So I was all right, I'll stick with it. Keep in mind, I genuinely enjoyed Phorm's products. So I didn't leave them because the products were ass. I genuinely left them because it was an MLM and I was treated like crap. I just want to put that out there. So if you see other people using them, they probably genuinely enjoy the supplements as well. But the whole thing was just so, you don't see it behind the scenes, but it's so sketchy. It really is. The people, there are so many people that are probably getting DMs too from the Phorm, people in your DMs. Don't trust it. Please do not trust it, because that person that's DMing you is DMing you because they know that once you sign with them, they're going to be making sales off of your sale, or they're going to be making profit off of your sales.
Okay, so at first glance, I can see why this might sound like MLM-y. And it's so hard because there's like this fine line that they're just like writing. But the way that she's described it so far, I kind of see it as like there are recruiters within companies who go out and find people to apply for the job or whatever, right? So maybe like at the top, they have recruiters who go out and find influencers that they think would benefit the company to like promote their products. And those recruiters get paid a salary at the top to find people to promote the products. And I know that MLM girls always try to compare real estate to being in an MLM. So I don't want to do that, but I kind of like want to do that because to me, like, when you're a real estate agent, for those of you who don't know, I finished my real estate course. I never got my real estate license because, well, the market crashed and I just didn't see a point. But anyways, when you're a real estate agent, you have to sign with a firm. And then when you sell a house, the firm gets a percentage of your sale. So then I see it kind of like in the same light because the firm is owned by, usually like the smaller firms are owned by people. Like they're just owned by a person. So the person seeks out realtors to sell underneath of their firm, and then that firm gets a cut of all their sales. So then I have a hard time like this is kind of like the same thing. So I don't know, let's keep listening.
The person above you gets part of what you sell. So the person recruited Sam, and when you go to following, made probably more money than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like she made, because she has her own sales,
Yeah.
which were, if she was just a random person, they were not as good as yours, but she has her own sales, your sales, and every other person she recruited when she recruited you.
Yeah.
The people at the top make all the money. Now, these bigger influencers, like I said, they're just selling, they're not recruiting, and the products are good. Like Sam said, she liked them. It's like a very low-key MLM, because there's other MLMs like Herbalife that are very much just recruit. But and I'm sure there's people in First Phorm that like obviously someone recruited you.
Yeah.
But so it's like, let's just say, for example, Sam could, if she was a scumbag, when she was promoting First Phorm, DM like all of you and be like, want to be First Phorm athletes and make stupid money off your sales.
Stupid money.
Like that's what she could have done if she was just, wanted to just be a horrible person.
Yeah.
From what I understand, that's not the case. Like just a regular affiliate isn't able to recruit anyone and make anything off of it, from what I understand. And like I said, I'm not an affiliate, so I don't know. But just talking to the affiliate girl that messaged me, it sounds like they have no incentive to recruit and they don't get anything if they recruit someone to be a rep as well. But I really wish that they had to like disclose this information so we didn't have to be so confuzzled about the whole thing, because if they just had to disclose it, we could literally just read it in writing and not have to wonder. But right now they're just kind of like riding this thin line between like MLM and not, because they don't disclose this information. And because they just give off MLM-y vibes at some points,
And that's another thing too with First Phorm is like, yes, I'm like promoting the products, great, awesome, but I had to pay $115 a month for the products. Like I wasn't yes, I worked for First Phorm, but I wasn't getting the product for free.
And here is where I start to disagree with First Phorm. Like, do I think they should be using the products? Yes, absolutely. Do I think that they should be paying for the products? No, absolutely not. Like they're promoting the products for you. You should be sending them even like a stipend for the month where they can go pick out what products they want for the month as long as they're promoting you. I did see on the website that there was like an application. So I feel like that instance is a little bit different because those people are filling out an application to promote your products. They're asking to promote your products. So I don't think that the company should feel obligated to give anybody free product unless they were like seeking them out to have them promote the product. So in this girl's situation, I feel like it's a little bit different because they reached out to her and asked her if she'd like to be a rep or an affiliate or whatever. And then they're asking her to also pay for the products. No. But then also, now that I know how affiliate marketing works, I would never sign a contract with a brand who's going to make me pay for the products that I'm going to be promoting for them. Like, I would kindly tell them to F off, respectfully.
And you probably are looking at like a lot of like the smaller creators out there, and you'll notice that they're probably with First Phorm, and every single one of them has to pay $115 a month. So think of that. If there is like, just in Austin alone, maybe like 1,000 girls like that
Doing
have
First
fitness
Form?
page and
Oh,
have
doing
you
fitness.
have a fitness page, but they're doing First Form. Think about the amount of money that First Form is making
Off them.
off of just the so-called athletes that are selling the
That's
product.
what I'm saying. The sellers of MLM products are the customers because you have to pay for it.
They're like
I do not disagree with that. I think that First Form is pretty clever in their marketing there because so many people want to be associated with First Form and make it seem like they're a big deal because they're a brand rep for First Form. So they're willing to pay $150 a month in order to be a rep for them. So I do think that's a little bit shitty. But like I said, can it really be considered a pyramid scheme or an MLM if the affiliates are not getting paid to recruit people beneath them and they're not getting paid when those people buy their $150 a month or whatever, like they're not getting anything for that? Like, I don't know, there's this fine line. They're like right on it. They're like riding their unicycle right on the line.
making sure they have like subscription customers. So like that's what they're thinking. You're just a number to them. Like First Form, you are just a number to them. It's ridiculous.
You're just a number to, unfortunately, a lot of the companies that you buy from, though.
They do not care about how many people they have like behind the scene, or I'm sorry, not behind the scenes, but out there pushing the product. And that's another thing I didn't like about them is like I was like, there are just so many people. What makes me different than that other person? Nothing.
Yeah.
I literally had to hop on a call with my so-called like, manager person, whoever was a level higher than me that was making profit off of me. I was like, hey, like I'd love to come out to the First Form gym, the HQ. Like you guys probably see it on social media. It is sick. I wanted to go out there. I wanted to meet a bunch of the athletes. At this point, I had about 50,000 followers, and I thought like, I was making good run of view for First Form to the point where like they could take a little bit of my run of view and buy a hotel room and a flight.
Wait a second. Have I been saying revenue wrong this whole time? Or is there something called revenue? And if not, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but like, I'm pretty sure it's revenue. And if not, like, why isn't her friend correcting her? I'm gonna look this up. Pretty sure it's revenue. Now she's got me all confused, but why isn't her friend correcting her?
Real quick and have me come out because she would talk so highly of me, being like, you're gonna be the next athlete, like all this stuff, like telling me all these things. So I was hyped and like wanting to sell more product. And then finally I asked her and she said no, because I wasn't using the First Form app, which is the transformation app, and you have to be a personal trainer on that app.
For free.
Yeah, for free. So I wasn't even making any money off of that. There were just so many things
That's pretty BS. I will agree with you on that one, sis.
behind the scene that I didn't want to do for First Form because, all that extra effort that I'm putting in, I'm not even getting paid for it. I'm doing all this extra shit, running around, and they're just making money off of me.
That girl that you talked to probably also has zero say in like she would have no authority to be like, yeah, let's fly you out.
Yeah.
She's just a random person.
Yeah, a random person.
But she talks to you like that because she, it's always just work harder, work harder, work harder. In these MLMs, the only thing that they're going to tell you is like, well, work harder. And then once you do what they said, they're going to be like, well, you need to work harder. Like, they're just going to guilt trip you into thinking that you're not doing enough.
I was literally like running myself to the ground, like trying to sell product, because I wanted to be an athlete so bad. And she just kept telling me, okay, she was just giving me numbers like on my sales. And she was like, okay, hit this number, then yes, you can. And then I hit the number that she was saying. And then she said no to me because I'm not using the First Form app. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It's literally
I'm
like
literally
when
just a
she has
number to you.
She has zero authority in like First Form
Yeah.
at all. It's not like how like when we speak to companies, we are speaking to like
The CEO.
the CEO, the PR, the head of PR,
Yeah.
the people actually in charge that have a say, not some you guys don't come to us talking about your Rise sales.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah. That's
At
another
all.
thing too, is like, if you want to work with a company, like make sure that like, that you're getting all the profit. Nobody else is getting the profit besides the company.
But like technically, if that person is a recruiter for the company, the money is going to the company. The company decides what happens with the money at that point, you know, like, so they decide to pay that recruiter bonus for recruiting you or whatever. Like it's going, I don't know.
Like there should be no one between you and the company. Like Taylor and I, we have codes. Those codes, we get obviously some sales, but then it just goes straight to the company. There's no one
there's
else.
no middleman.
There's no middleman. And that's how it should be, you know?
You guys, it's so hard because I agree with them about most of what they're saying, but then also it's like the money is going to the company and the company is deciding that the recruiter gets a cut of that. But it's just like a real estate business. Like the money is going to the firm, but the firm decides who gets a cut of that. And the, like, you know, anyways, I did talk to the like current affiliate that I was talking to before, and she did say that she's spoken to people personally who like work at HQ and they absolutely love their jobs, and that this Andy guy like takes really good care of them, and it's not like this fake atmosphere. It's like actually a fun and uplifting atmosphere, and that everyone is treated great. She did say that her overall view of the company would definitely change if there was something like sneaky like that going on up at the top, but they've never given her a reason to believe that that is part of what goes on at the top, because she's always had a positive experience, and that she was surprised to hear that that girl was treated so poorly by the person who recruited her. She said she loves the product. She loves like the back office, the training materials that they have for them in the back office and all that. So I don't know, you guys, like I'm leaning more towards no, but I can see why people would think that they are. But hopefully that clears up some of the like confusion for you guys. It pretty much cleared up absolutely nothing for me except for it made me more confused. I wish they would just come out like, Andy, if you see this message, will you just let me know if those like top recruiters are getting paid commission off of the people that they recruit? Like, how is this working out? Then that would really clear up a lot of things for me. But right now I still am undecided. I mean, I can see how a portion of the company can be considered an MLM if those top people are getting paid commissions based on the sales of the people that they recruit. But I think as a whole, being an affiliate of the company doesn't make you a part of an MLM, because you don't get paid for recruiting anyone underneath of you. So that's my take on it. I hope it clears up a little bit for you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn the post notification bell if you'd like to be notified every single time I post. And of course, follow me on all social media platforms at the Jessica Hickson. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Moving slower.